Oh, totally different now.
Yep.
Totally different.
Yeah.
I was telling him I couldn't hear you in that other broadcast last
That was my bad.
week.
Yes,
I'm
yes,
not too
your
loud.
hair does look good. And yes, I hope this music works for you. My mom wanted some more chill opening music. She didn't like my last opening song, so I hope this works for everybody.
Yes, it does. It's a little more soothing.
Ooh.
Senior citizen sounds.
Are you claiming that now? You
Well, I
pulled the
mean,
senior citizen card?
I've been a senior citizen for a few
I don't
years
think anybody.
now.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the Turn Left podcast. Thank you, watchers and listeners. Very special guest tonight for episode 84. You know her from Susan's Sandwich Shop. You've had her hot dogs. You've had her chicken salad, world famous chicken salad. You've had her Chex Mix. My lovely mom, Susan.
Hi.
Woo!
Yeah. Glad to be here.
And we also have the lovely Tina backstage too.
Yes.
Yeah, Mom, you were a fan favorite. A lot of likes came in on the
really?
main post. Yeah, over 20. I mean, that's pretty good. And like I said, people are tuning in pretty good. It's almost like we had Chris Dotson or something coming on. Woo! But yeah, everybody's
you.
excited. Everybody's excited for you. And either way, so we got a bunch of hot topics. You've got some for me that I don't know about. I've got plenty for you that you don't know about. Might be some topics. You can pull the mic down a little bit too. I feel like you're blocking your beautiful face. Yeah.
Oh, well, don't want to do that.
Yeah. She can't really see the TV, guys, so it's just
Yeah.
me running the whole thing.
Yeah, I'll be watching this later and going, oh my God.
Yeah. You can pull it down a little bit more even, I think.
Okay, good.
Yep, and angle it up a little bit.
All right.
There you go.
Are we
Yep.
good?
Boom. Boom! This episode is sponsored by Sarah K. Speed Shots. Down here at the lovely picture of me and my mom in Victory Lane after the fourth win back in 2018, I think it was. Contact them for any photography that has to do with motorsports. And also On Point Woodworks. Don't forget to like and share, everybody, now.
Yep.
And let's get right into it.
This makes me nervous because I didn't know you were going to ask me anything.
Okay,
I
yeah.
thought I was going to steal the show. You could just sit back and be pretty.
We can do that too. But I still got to get the sponsors off, and I got to get everything going.
All right, you can do that.
How many stories has your mom heard that she didn't know about when you were listening to this show? That's a good question. We'll get into that a little bit.
Not too many.
Not too many. That's good. Yeah, because I'm past the statute of limitation now. You know what I mean? That's why when I started the podcast, I had to wait until I was at least 25 at least. I was much older than that, but still. So yeah, and also I have a fun segment, since this is like a fun thing apparently to do with parents on podcasts. If you want to try to use new hip sayings like oh, it was lit or something like that. Do you know what that means? If you could guess what it means, what would you think?
That it was cool.
Yeah.
Good
Okay.
time.
Good
Susan's
guess. Good
hip.
guess. Yeah, she's hip. I know.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. So all right. So yeah, if you want to use something like that or that, do you have any other good ones, Tina? What is the new kid? I'm old now myself, so I don't know what the cool kids are saying.
There's
You'd say
this
this
one.
slaps.
There's this one that the kids do that gets me every time, where it's like it started as like a meme, but they're like, sheesh.
What does that mean?
I don't even
You
know.
don't even know? Okay, well we can't get her to apply that throughout
It's
the
like
podcast.
It's
like
like an-
cheese.
No,
But
it's
if
a
you're
well.
telling an old story
it's
from
like-
the 70s before I was even born, and you throw an "it was lit" in there, I think the crowd will give a cheer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll be able to remember that or not.
I know, we'll try.
I wasn't going to tell any stories on you.
Okay.
I just had my, favorite topic stories.
Okay. Well,
Oh,
we're
no.
ready. We're ready. I'm scared, but we're
That's
ready.
all right. No, that's nothing scary. It's, yard sailing.
Derek said, "Everybody be on your best behavior," but you don't know my mom very well.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
Apparently, 'cause
If you
She's
didn't
already
watch the
promised to be
Mike
on her
Canary
worst
Senior
behavior.
episode, you would know that my mom's favorite word is.
fuck.
Yep.
Yep.
It is.
Yep.
Hey Tina, what's up? Tina's watching. You got a couple of your friends
Yep.
watching, by
Hey,
the way.
Chica.
I think Crystal Seifert Limcooler was watching.
Oh,
Shout out
I
to
know.
her.
Yep. Hi, Crystal. Tell your mom I said hi.
I got a questionable story. Just something that I remember from when I was a kid that I might have dreamed up in my own head.
No.
I was being really bad, and I was doing something I wasn't supposed to. I was young, like 5 years old or something, maybe even younger. And you told me if I didn't act better, whatever, if I didn't go somewhere that I was supposed to, you were going to take me to, I can't remember what her name was, but she spits nails. Do you remember, was that a term that you would ever use?
Oh, I used the term, I was so mad I could spit nails all the time.
Okay, maybe that's where I got it from.
But I don't remember you ever being bad.
Oh, yeah.
I know
That's
your
right.
brothers will
Woo!
agree. You know,
This is going good.
Yeah, you're the angel child. Your brother.
Yes. See?
You're my
Obviously
favorite.
the favorite.
Yeah,
See?
my
If
favorite.
they had a podcast, they'd already be canceled. Oh, so I'm the favorite son. That was going to be another question, but we've already checked that one off the box.
That's
Well,
been confirmed for years.
Yeah, your brothers would think that.
They would, because I'm the baby.
Yeah.
Even though everybody thinks I'm the oldest, by the way. I don't know if you know that. Everybody thinks I'm older than Alex.
Oh, really? Just
Yeah.
because of your height?
I've
maybe?
treated my
You're so
body like an
gray.
amusement park for a long time,
I
Mom.
don't know.
That aging
Well,
quick.
I mean, they say you're my favorite, but psychologically, I always, favored Alex because he was the middle child, and you don't want them to be.
He's going to disagree with that. He said I was the bad one, though. He already commented.
Oh,
on it.
he was the bad one. Oh my God! I mean, I had to stop beating his ass when I was beating my own ass more than I was beating his ass, and
Yeah,
hitting
just
myself
fight-
with the
yeah.
belt. I was like, I got to figure something else out because
Yeah,
this
well-
shit ain't working anymore.
Well, he was 22, Mom.
Oh no, he was
mean, I know,
as
I'm
big
just
as
kidding.
me.
Yeah.
However old
Seventh
he was,
grade
he
or
was as
something,
big as I was, and I was trying to beat his ass because he wouldn't go to sleep.
Still strong, though. I remember I was always afraid of my mom until I was about, like,
Cry it out.
8th or 9th grade. Like, until I started working out for basketball, I was like, I know my mom will whoop my ass, dude, so I'm going to act tight.
I will.
What's up,
All
Jeremy?
I had to do
Yeah.
is give you the
Yeah.
look
Oh,
at that.
It was
Don't
bad.
touch anything. We go into
It
the
was bad.
bathroom. Hands up. Don't touch anything. Don't look at anything.
I never saw any of that because I was the angel child, remember?
Yeah.
Okay, so we cleared up the spitting nails thing. You probably didn't use that against
just
me,
use
but
that as a. lot of
that's why I
things
was never
piss
the
me
bad kid. Is she told me that she would get somebody to spit kids at me. I mean, spit
Spit
nails.
nails.
Oh God, spit kids at me. That would be even worse. All right. So, did you have any topics you wanted to bring up really quick? I mean, we got a bunch from back in the day. We're moving back to brandermill. We got plenty of brandermill stories, but do you want to give a shout out really quick? At
Yeah.
least as we start off the show, just in case any of them are watching, and if they watch it later. But regardless, much condolences to the Jarrell family.
Right.
We lost Robbie.
Our hearts go out to them for Robert Senior's death this past week.
Yes.
And it's a lot going on for them. And
Childhood best
thinking
friends. I
about
mean,
them.
yeah.
Well, not childhood best friends. Well, your dad.
When I was a kid.
Yeah, your dad's.
Well, that too, but when I was a kid, I
childhood
mean,
best
that's who I was friends with growing up, was
Yeah.
Robbie Jr., you know?
Yeah, and we camped together and boated
Oh, yeah.
together and
The whole nine.
a lot of fun times together and all that. So we go way back and
Just a big cup. I'm going to spill two out for him, but
thinking about them this week.
yeah.
And, But yeah, my favorite topic is yard sales, and that's my first.
My mom brought a card over. She said, I want to talk about yard sales. I said, Mom, we're going to have to wait a little bit. I'm not sure how much people are into yard sales, but if you got a hot story,
But I mean,
let's see how, give us one, and then we'll do a couple throughout the night.
Yeah, I'll start with my favorite story.
Go for it, yeah.
People are fascinating. This is interesting. I think.
Let me get the mic thing for you.
Oh, all right. I can scoot up a little bit. I'll probably roll back. Are we good?
Yeah.
So, it was like a neighborhood yard
us.
sale. Our favorite neighborhood, I could say. This was a couple years ago, so I don't think the fella's listening. And I enter into the neighborhood from the main drag. And as I do that, I see a woman fixing the yard sale sign that directs you to turn in there. And I just happen to notice that. And then I drive down to the end of the road, and the house happens to be right at the end of the road. A lot of stuff in the driveway, the fella's there, and this is like maybe a slightly older couple than I am. And as I said, I'm a senior citizen. So he's manning the station, and I go up there and look around, and there's not really anything I want, except for I'm always looking for racing stuff. And
That's
there's
true.
two little tins there about the size that would hold a deck of playing cards or something. But they're still in the little plastic wrapper. They're brand new. And so I'm going to offer him $1. So I asked him, and of course, nothing's priced. Don't get me started. Nothing's priced. So I said, how much are the little, race car tins? And he's like, $2. And I was like, well, will you take $1 for him? Because, I mean, I even pay $1 just for the real little cars and stuff, NASCAR cars.
Yeah.
So I offer him $1. And he's like, well, I mean, my wife will be back in a few minutes. She's gone to fix the sign up there. I don't know. And I'm thinking,
Dude,
dude,
hey, pal, you sent her to do that?
I mean,
just
it's $1, dude. I mean, you can get your ass whooped when she comes back and finds out you sold it for $1
you can't make an
instead of $2.
executive decision about $1.
Oh my God, I'm sorry.
Maybe they had to go
that's a
downtown
crisis.
later and pay a toll.
Well, and I'm thinking she drove up there to fix the sign, and so I'm still looking at the stuff because he can't decide whether to sell it to me for $1 or not. And then I see her, she's walking back. So now he's like, wait until my wife gets back. Oh my God, forget it. No, I don't even want them now. That's crazy.
What kind of tin was it? Now I'm interested.
They were the little, just.
I know, but which driver?
Oh, I don't remember. I mean, how much shit I bought over the years.
All right, we got to give it some gaps on these stories.
Yeah. But it was just the fact that, I'm
That's
offering him
crazy.
$1 for something that's $2 and he can't decide because his wife's not there. I'm like, grow some balls.
Oh,
I mean,
I know,
for God's sake.
I've had the same thing
in the
going on in the real
doghouse
estate market recently.
Yeah. Just because I'm sorry I sold it for $1 instead of $2. Don't.
Yeah. Well, and Darlene commented in, she's watching as well. She said, "Whoop whoop, love them yard sales."
Yeah.
And my mom's been an avid yard sailor since I was, pre-birth. The whole nine.
That's the way we existed.
That's true. That is true. And now we are the new age yard sailors, which is Facebook marketplacers.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
And
we are, but
trying
you are
to get
too.
into that.
You are too. But
I did a little bit
me
of
and Tina and I don't know what just happened.
Uh-oh.
Is that my phone? Sorry, I got a little bit. No, it wasn't you. So yeah, we do the same type of thing, and you have gotten a lot of cool things. Like my favorite Earnhardt shirt that I've ever gotten. She found like I paid $30 or something for an Earnhardt shirt at RIR a couple years ago. She bought one that was just as cool and brought it in, and it was $2 or something like that.
Oh yeah, I don't pay more than $2
Yeah.
for a T-shirt. Yeah, there's that. There it's gone.
Yeah. It is something to do with.
Yeah, all kinds of good
You have
deals.
your phone? Maybe?
It's,
I don't know what it is.
it just started all of a sudden, kind of when I leaned up to it.
It's always this way. We always have to diagnose it on show.
It's always
So annoying.
something.
Yeah.
Oh, it was when I leaned up to take a drink.
Was it?
But can I just tell the next story on the race car situation?
Sure.
I was at an estate sale, and this is like everything in the house is for sale because these folks aren't coming home. So, everything from the mouthwash to the deodorant used in the bathroom, it's all got a quarter, 50 cents on it, whatever. Everything's for sale. So the house is like full, and usually there's a lot of people there. So I'm over at this yard sale over off Courthouse Road between Hull and Midlothian, and it's full of people, and there's just stuff everywhere, little walking paths through. Well, in the living room downstairs, main room, there's this big plastic molded Grand Prix looking race car,
Okay.
But big, plastic, cheap dime store, 5 and 10 store. Long time ago when your brothers were little, we had them around the house, probably painted the first one like your dad's car or something. But anyway, we had those all the time, and they were like $2 or $3 at the 5 and 10. So anyway, I see one downstairs in this yard sale, and I pick it up, and it's got a little sticker on it, and it's got 25 on it. And I'm like, dang, I can't believe this. I haven't seen one of these in forever because, they don't even exist anymore. Y'all's were destroyed. So I pick it up, and this dude in there, he's like, oh, man, there's 2 more of those upstairs if you want to go and get those if you like them. And I'm like, oh, great, thanks. So I immediately go upstairs. I'm like, that'd be great. One for each, boy. That'd be, just awesome. I run upstairs. They're still there. I pick them up. Don't see anything else in the house that I really want. So I go down to pay, and as these estate sales are, big long line. Finally get up there to the desk, and she's like, okay, that'll be $75. I'm like, $75? What?
$25 each.
I thought it was 25 cents. I thought I was going to, I'm giving her $1, and she's like, that'll be $75. I'm like, what are you talking about? She goes, that's $25. Oh my God. I was like, well, not interested. You can keep them.
Yeah. And I'm not carrying them back up there either.
I'm like, no.
All right, Mom. Well, as much as I do
anyway.
love your yard sale stories, and you're a great storyteller, I know you've got better ones that are in the books as far as, not better ones as far as yard sale stories, but like what would be your favorite racing memory? It is a racing show, so we got to stay a little bit on topic. Trust me, I tried to go off on tangents back when we first started. We wasn't very popular.
My favorite
racing memory of all time. I don't know.
Oh,
like,
of all time?
Like one of your sons winning or something. I don't know. It's on my list. We're going back to my list for now, Mom.
Well, gosh, I don't really.
That's a hard one.
Yeah, it is a hard one. Now I remember maybe the worst one, and that was when your dad flipped over on his, roof of his car. I happened to be on crutches with a broken ankle at the time. And so we all crunched down there in a hurry, and it was just a panic state kind of thing. And I was on crutches, so it was a bad time.
Oh, yeah.
And your brothers were little, and usually other people were helping hold them.
I was pretty young, yeah.
And if you were even around, I guess by then you were.
I was around, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's right. He didn't start racing until you were
not born yet, but yeah.
Yeah, sitting in the first car.
It's actually interesting enough. We thought about it the other week. He started racing when he was 28, and I stopped racing when I was 28. Isn't that weird? It's kind of coincidental.
Yep.
Numbers, anyway. But, okay, well, that's, I guess, the worst memory. That's just as good, actually. Usually those stories work out better anyway.
Yeah, because, I mean, it's either you or Alex winning, and so, it's usually a good memory for me, except for it's stressful for a mama, because then you're like, oh, he won, but then he did. It's like, oof.
Kinley said she was watching, by the way, which is past her bedtime, and that's scary.
I swear.
I know. Well, that's kind of like
dad?
That's kind of like back in the day when, and Amelia's going through that now a little bit, but like when Alex would be racing and he wouldn't be winning, and she'd be like crying if he didn't win.
Oh, yes.
That was big.
Oh, as much as she loved you to death, if her daddy didn't win, she would be crying all the way into the victory lane, and it's like, but, it just, it was hard.
Darlene said, what about when all three boys and their dad raced together? Well, that was post-divorce, so she was probably just hoping that one of us would wreck him or something, but no, I'm just kidding.
No,
but
y'all all placed
so he might be watching too, who knows? Well, me and Alex, me, Alex, 1, 2,
Josh,
3,
I think.
Dad,
4 and 5 or something. 1, 2, 3.
No,
and
not
5.
quite. Yeah, it was almost like that. But Dad was in a very underfunded car.
Yes, I do remember that.
Oh, Connie's watching too. Hey, Susan.
Oh, hey, Connie.
Hey, Connie.
You figured it out.
Yeah, we gave a shout out to the whole Jarrell family earlier. I guess you can always back watch after it's over, and it'll be up on YouTube and everything else too. Yeah, so like, all right, let's talk about since we're in spite of us moving back to Brandermill, that's where I pretty much grew up after I was 5 years old, and you always had race cars in Brandermill. Well, you always had a house that had race cars in it.
I always had a garage
Dad,
with a race car.
Yeah, or then once Dad moved out, all the sons were already into it, so you always had throughout 3 sons that were into racing, always a race car in the garage.
Exactly.
And
tools and everything else in the other.
Everything, yeah.
Yes.
Do you remember any? I remember one that I think I've told on here, but do you remember any stories about just throughout the years of dealing with that? Because you're not even allowed to have an untitled car even in your garage in Brandermill, not to mention a race car that...
Well, and I do have just oddly, I thought about it when you were talking about out in the garage hanging and stuff with your friends and everything else. And, well, of course, you and the boys did have a lot of sleepovers, kids staying over night all the time. But there was a bunch of kids over. I know, it's a little static again.
I know.
I
think it's that cord.
And y'all were hanging in the garage, working on the race car.
Not moving.
And you had started it and pulled it down to the cul-de-sac and back, and rearing the engine and all that stuff. And of course, the neighbors at the end of the cul-de-sac had a fit, and it was just so loud and everything else. And so then somebody calls the police, and the police come to the driveway, and you're like, well, I mean, we just started it up, check that, whatever. You didn't tell them that you had driven it down the cul-de-sac and back, but I mean, it was just the cul-de-sac.
No, what happened is the police showed up, and we had just driven it down. The static's going to drive me crazy. But we had just driven it down the street to, it drives me insane. I can't even wear the headphones if it's going to be like that. I wonder if they can hear it, or if it's just us.
Somebody
can y'all hear static?
Static. When it stops,
Doesn't make any sense.
It stopped as soon as...
So what happened was we went down there to, I don't even remember what. We drove it down the road, do a test or something like that. We pull it back up into the driveway, and it's still sitting in the driveway when the police officer shows up. So you're sitting on the front porch just like reading a book or something, who knows. We were working on the race car. It was actually just me and world famous TJ. So police officer pulls up as you're walking out, and as I'm walking out of the garage, he just kind of pulls up, he looks at TJ, and he goes, hey, did y'all just drive that race car down that way? TJ, before either one of us can even get there, answer goes, no, we didn't drive it down that way. Me and you both looked at each other. We were like, this motherfucker. Like, you're about to get us busted. Like, shut up, dude. It's not your house. Yeah, bad answer, bro. So,
oh, TJ.
Yeah, it was funny
I
though.
swear.
But yeah, the cop was cool about it and
Yep.
everything like that. So thank God. But
Yeah, I remember him letting it just, slide.
he kind of even looked at us like, why did he say it like that? Like, he made it clear that we just drove it down there the other way. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, it was so
like,
obvious.
we didn't go that way. We went that way, the further way.
He might
out.
as well have just said, yeah, we drove it all around, but we didn't drive it down that part of the road.
Yeah,
It's
we
like,
took it out on the
dude.
main drag.
Uh-huh.
Well, and then the other thing I thought about was, and I don't know if it was you with all the sleepovers. I think it was, because it was near the last few years probably that y'all lived there. But there was a bunch of fellas over, cars out in the street. And the neighbor at the end of the street called me and said, there are so many cars out there in front of your house with all the boys and everything, cars and stuff parked, that an ambulance couldn't even get through if they needed to. And there was a sick neighbor down there. Not critical, but just a sick neighbor. And she was upset that an ambulance wouldn't be able to get through. And I was like, I'll go take care of it. I'll go out there and take a look. Mm-hmm. So I go out there. I mean, you could drive a Mack truck down the street, and there was no problem whatsoever. But I was just like, oh, my God.
Oh, I know.
Really?
I remember that neighbor very well. There's plenty of stories about that neighbor. I remember when I was jumping BMX bikes and pretty much got the cops called on me one time over there because don't mess up the grass or whatever it was. It was like, just stop.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Is that the same neighbor that called the cops on me for my car?
Well, we don't know who that was, but, that really pissed me off because I was
For your
sick.
what, Integra?
Yeah, I remember when it was
when the
raining
roof was leaking.
and my roof was leaking and I put a car cover over it, but I had parked in the
tarp.
street for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And
Before I caulked the sunroof.
Yeah.
I caulked it closed,
so it
baby.
was parked in the street
That's
with
a fix where I
tarp
come
on
from.
it.
Yeah.
And I'm sick as a dog because I had just almost died in Arizona, and I've only been back a day or two, and I'm
food poisoning and a
couch-bound
stroke or something? What was that?
Food poisoning and GI bleed, and then I had a stroke and the whole bit. But I've just been home for a day or two, but I'm like lifeless, and I'm on the couch, and the doorbell rings, and I go to the door, and it's a police officer, and he is there about Jesse's car in the street with a tarp on it, and it's not, you're not allowed to have
a tarped car.
Yeah, and I'm like, it's, basically my daughter's car. There's a leak in the, skylight, or what do you call
Sunroof.
it?
I had to go out there and show him my car and let him look at it.
Yeah, I was like, for God's sake, what else are you supposed to do but put a tarp over it because it's been raining, pouring down rain. I mean, I was pissed. I was like, give me a break.
Yeah, the car was
I'm
a
on my
shit box. It looked a
deathbed
lot
here.
better covered up than it did exposed, okay?
It's my favorite car I've ever had.
It was loud. It had an intake. It had exhaust. It was, Tina's favorite car. She
It was
could,
my favorite
race
car.
it. But she was like, what's the chick's name from Fast and the Furious? She was like Letty or something. But,
Oh my God, that's the best compliment I've ever gotten.
but,
So, yeah, that aggravated me. to
Alex said the
death.
5-0 never came to the house from him.
The what? Ooh.
No,
Nobody
you're
ever
good.
called the cops for him.
Yeah, well.
No, never had to.
Yeah, you're a
I
real
was
P
Alex's
word, bro.
cop.
Yeah. All right, well, that's pretty good. What about,
Oh, well, the cops called us about Alex actually one time.
What happened there?
Oh.
I was Angel Child. This never,
He
actually, I do have
apparently
another story
wasn't
about that.
involved, but he was part of the group. So, and
Guilty
we
by
knew the
association.
officer that called us and had to go up and get him.
From
And
the movie theater?
yes,
They
But,
were
you know, it
throwing
was a-
smoke bombs and open windows, huh?
apparently
Real
not
rascals.
Alex, but he was present.
He's guilty by association.
Yes, exactly.
All right, you did get the cops called on me one time when I was involved with the short
Oh.
transportation of a golf cart. I moved a golf cart as a prank on some golfers. You don't remember this? No. Oh shit. Okay.
It's like his
All right,
favorite
well, yeah.
story to tell.
Well, it's because the dad golfer was a girl that I was talking to at the time, and she messaged me later on AIM and was like, "Hey, were you involved with a golf cart and like grand larceny today? Because like we technically stole the golf cart and their golf clubs, which are worth more than $2,000. So like they were going to press charges of grand larceny on us. All we did was move it from one side
This
of the.
does sound a little familiar. On the golf course.
Well, what happened was I wasn't driving; I was riding. But either way, it sounds like something I would do though, driving. Just forgot to put the parking brake on, parked it on a hill, and it rolled down the hill. You know what I mean? And so when they came down, it wasn't where it was supposed to be anyway. But then not only that, but it wasn't even where we put it. It was way down the hill. So then once they found it, we just like kind of ran off and then just were walking down the bike path. They rode the golf cart down the bike path. We looked back, and one of them was coming, and we just started running. And these old men were so fast. And one of them had a golf cart there, too. But either way, my buddy that we were with got busted, Brandon. And then, and he, like, him and this old man were about to start swinging at each other out in the yard. And I'm, like, coming out there like, no, don't do all that. And then some other, like, there's 4 of them. So then one of them attained me, and then the cops came. And I know one of them, I know they called both of our parents. And so I didn't give them Dad's number. I mean, I
don't remember. I remember that happening now. But
the cop called you on my cell phone. It came from my cell phone, so you answered, and you were like, "Hello, boobs," or whatever, and you were like, "What the? Like, police officer talking to you now?"
That I don't remember, but I do remember your physics teacher calling me.
What?
At work.
Which one?
Your physics teacher.
Amazing. I would love to hear this story.
Yeah, I mean, you were
don't
the
say
only
the name
one
on
of your
here.
brothers. You're the only one that took
my math
physics.
teacher.
No, physics. Isn't that a class in high school? Am I not right? Calling it right?
No, I think
I never took physics. I don't know.
Well, no, I mean,
he was
most
smarter
kids
than
don't,
I was
but
in high
you know,
school.
smart, bro.
Ethan was
He
smart.
wasn't
and,
like
you know,
advanced science and stuff. So
yeah,
I mean, he
advanced
very well could have been in physics. I
honor
don't know.
roll and all that stuff.
I used to be smart.
In the brat pack. So yeah, he was taking physics, and I'm at my endoscopy job in my own endoscopy room. They never put calls into the room, but it's late in the afternoon. We're pretty much finished with procedures, so I'm just cleaning up my room when the front desk calls and says, "Susan, there's a call for you from Swift Creek Middle." Was it middle? No, high school.
I don't
Clover
think you
Hill,
would
I
have
guess.
taken physics in middle school.
Clover Hill, I guess. So
You don't know.
I take the call. And she said, "Hi, Ms. Ayers. Sorry to bother you at work." I said, "I'm Ms. So-and-so. I don't remember her name. I'm Ethan's physics teacher." And she goes, "Now, you know, don't get me wrong. He's got he makes A's on all of his tests." She goes, "I can put anything in front of him. He's going to make an A, 100, no problem. But he's not doing his homework. And homework itself is like 50% of his grade. So even though he's made A's on all of his tests, I'm not going to be able to give him an A in the class if he doesn't turn in his homework, because that's 50% of his grade. And I just wanted to make you aware."
Well,
and,
it was your dog that ate it.
No, this
Bailey.
was all semester. And so I said,
he was a hungry dog.
So I said, "The homework will get done. Thank you for calling me. It'll be turned in the morning."
Starting to remember it a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And so I called you as soon as I got off the phone with her, and I had to hear the whole, like, "I understand it. I know how to do all the physics stuff. Homework is for people that don't understand."
I felt like I sound like Trump now.
Yeah, homework is for practice, like for people that don't get it. I get it. I can do it. I don't need to practice for an hour after
easy.
school.
I started taking this test, and I said, "Wow, this test
it's like,
is easy."
Well, guess what? You're going to do all that frickin' homework tonight since it's so easy, and then you're going to turn it in the morning. You got it? That's what I remember. Not the police, but your physics teacher calling.
See?
"I don't need to do homework. I get it. That's for people that don't get it."
I didn't say that.
Oh,
did.
yes, you did.
Yes, you did.
Yes,
You weren't
did.
there, Tina.
I know
Stop.
you did.
Yeah, don't even.
She's
Tina's
heard
like,
the story before because
Yeah.
I just
Oh,
know
from
that that's
who?
exactly
Yeah.
something that you
From
would
the-
say.
So, you know,
This story lines
that
up with
and the whole,
you.
chess
perfectly.
club thing. You know, he was.
I was in the chess
in
club.
elementary
Hey, at a young age too. Young strapping chess clubbing.
school. Yeah. At the
Clubbian.
fifth grade graduation, every damn award category, the first name called Ethan Ayers, because A with the last
Hey.
name. I mean, Ethan Ayers.
I got the
Ayers.
presidential award.
Like a big stack of awards after fifth grade.
George Bush didn't actually
fitness,
sign it, but
dude.
they printed off paper with his signature on it, and he gave it to me.
So all these little, kids he played
Still have
sports
it.
with and all that stuff, their parents all think he's just a normal kid,
Punks.
on the team. And we're out there taking pictures after fifth grade, graduation, and they're coming up and like,
I didn't.
"Who'da thunk?
She's-
Man, you won every award."
She is boosting it a little bit. I didn't get all of them, but like shop class stuff like that, crushed
I mean,
them.
pretty much, well,
And math. was good at
excellent attendance, excellent grades.
You made me go
excellent,
even when I was sick. Of course, I had good
everything.
attendance.
Oh, yeah, hell yeah.
I was like dying, throwing up, and they're like, "You're all right.
You're
You made
going
me
to
go."
school.
Yeah, I ain't staying home for this little MFer. That would have been a new, new age thing, MFer, but
Yeah.
we haven't thrown any "it's lit"
Yeah,
or "it slaps" out
You
there
were my
yet.
favorite
So
child. I wouldn't have called you a little, MFer.
yeah. You might have this still. What about any when I was a little kid? Do you have any funny stories that I wouldn't remember?
No, just the big toes that stuck up when you were a baby, and we were all like, "Are those going to go down?"
I never put my big toes down. They stuck up like, I can't really do it.
Yeah, and they were like, "Bing!" up there like thumbs, and we're like, I hope those are going to settle down eventually.
I'd be sleeping, in a coma, and my toes would be stuck straight up in the air.
We're going to have to order special shoes.
Yeah, y'all thought about like putting a little brace on it or something, didn't you, for a while?
No. It was just funny.
Like some kids taped their ears back, they had to tape my toes down. But now
no, that's the only thing really. You and your toes.
At Southside Speedway, you got to break with your toes. I was just trying to get them strong.
Oh my god!
It makes me think of that meme of SpongeBob. He's got his big toe stuck through the shoe, and he's pressing the gas pedal with the toe.
Oh yeah, Alex did get rid of your lisp.
That is.
Alex did not get rid of my lisp.
You tell people that he did.
No, I tell people that he and Josh made fun of me until I taught myself while going to sleep at night how to pronounce S's.
Oh my god!
I didn't cry myself to sleep or anything like that.
It's like the saddest
I
story
had
ever.
a lisp. No, I didn't cry myself to sleep or anything like that. I was just practicing when I was going to bed. It's not a big deal.
So sad.
I have insomnia. I can't sleep anyway. I'm just doing shit, Watching Whose Line Is It Anyway at 12:30 at night.
Teaching yourself how to speak.
I don't remember you.
Yeah, teaching myself the alphabet and all that shit.
A lisp.
They said I was smart, see?
Oh boy.
See where I started? From the bottom. I couldn't even talk. That's
Mama
correct. I don't know what you're talking
genius.
about. Yep. Yeah. What about
Papa would be proud.
all the sports throughout the years? Do you have any good fun memories about that? I mean, I didn't play but 1 year of football, and a couple years of soccer, but mostly basketball. I mean, all of us were.
It probably wouldn't have involved you as much
Go up.
because the one little thing I remember, it's my favorite little maneuver in basketball was when Alex did the forward roll while he was, handling the ball and, flipped back up on his feet and just kept on going,
Oh, damn, you got tripped or something and did a roll and...
I mean, I don't remember.
Or did you do it on purpose?
No, I mean, he did
got tripped
or something, but he literally did a forward roll on the hard basketball floor and
Show off.
got back on his feet and just kept on going. We're like, all right.
Yeah.
Maybe that's when the whole A-Rod thing started,
Yeah.
Throw
Yeah,
it to
let's say,
A-Rod,
there
throw
was...
it to A-Rod.
And even your license plate to this day is still Mom Rod?
Mom Rod, yep. I mean, I have kids get out of their cars at stoplights, run up to my car with their cell phone, taking pictures of my license plate, and getting back in the car. I'm like, what's the matter with you? Get a life.
It's a little suggestive.
I mean, I guess, but I mean, I think it's just more like, Mom's hot rod kind of a thing. I don't know, but I suppose I know.
It's Mom on a rod or something.
I suppose,
I don't know what the kids are making out of it. I don't know what hashtag you're famous for, but I'd love to find it.
I don't have a hashtag.
I know that, but like all the kids post it like, oh, Mom on a rod or something, hashtag Mom on a rod. I don't know.
That's probably, what they're doing.
Probably famous on Instagram. You don't even know it. Not you, but the back of your car. I do get pictures of the back of your car that people send me all the time where it's just because you got the Turn Left podcast sticker. I'm like, oh, I saw. I'm
really?
like, that's it says Mom on the back, Mom Rod. Like that's my
Always
mom.
try to wave to your coworkers and stuff when I'm on the road, like they might see the Ayers Racing sticker on the back, but
Yeah, maybe.
I never get any honk or anything.
Yeah, it's a big company now. They don't know me. What's up, Brad? Brad Diggs.
Oh,
Big fan of Susan Ayers, yeah.
Oh, Brad.
All right, so did you once get a ticket for driving too slow? Back in college or something?
No, you might be thinking of when, I don't think I was driving, but in high school, and I was a varsity cheerleader, Mary and I, the football team for away games would ride on a school bus to the game because there was a bunch of them. And then us cheerleaders, which there were 4 of us, were varsity seniors, varsity cheerleaders, and the rest were juniors on the 12-people squad maybe or something. So anyway, the 4 of us seniors were pretty tight and good friends. So we were always driving together to the away games and back and all that. But going down a main drag like Hull Street, it was actually 236 up in Northern Virginia, Annandale. We're going slow because we're trying to stay back and we want to go along with the bus with all the football players in there, which Mary was, dating Kurt already. He was captain of the football team. And, we were just, they were the jocks.
Mm-hmm.
So we weren't wanting to just, we were wanting to hang back and ride with the bus. And we got stopped because we were not going the speed limit because the bus was having to go a little bit slower than the regular speed limit.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like, what? So, well, I mean, I wasn't driving. The only ticket I got as a teenager when I first started driving was when my dad was out of the country for a month. And so I'm driving his car, and one of his cars, and I'm going over to see my girlfriend Mary, cutting through this neighborhood. And this cop pulls me in the neighborhood, not even on a main drag. And I was like, oh my God, I was like panic stricken. I'm already, you know, like hyperventilating and all that. Nervous.
Sounds like you.
Nervous teenager. And so he comes up to the car and all that. He goes, do you know, your inspection sticker is expired? And I'm like, no, I mean, it's my dad's car. And, I'm just driving over to my girlfriend's house, whatever. And then I have to hear the whole lecture about, when you get in a car to drive it, you're supposed to make sure everything's legal and all that kind of. Oh, for God's sake, I'm 16. So anyway.
Like my dad didn't make sure of that shit when he drives it.
Yeah.
Who do you think I learned from, bro?
He has, South America.
It's 3 months behind. I mean, what do you think's happening here?
So I get the ticket, and the court date, is a month and a half or 2 months down the road, and my dad, comes back, and he's in the country for the court date, and he goes with me. And he tries to tell the judge, talking about, well, really, it's my fault, sir. I should have checked on that and stuff before I leave the country. I was gone for a month on business and everything else. And there was no forgiveness, and, I was nailed with the little ticket, so, of course, I had to pay for that. But
and your dad didn't pay for it, even though he...
Oh, I don't think so.
Even though he took blame?
He's all about lessons and all that, so...
Oh, yeah.
Anyway.
That'll teach you. What do you have else on your car? I see you have some racing, or no, pricing?
No, that was pricing, about the weird pricing of, at yard sales.
These are different yard sale categories?
Well, no, there's just different stories. Like, I was at an estate sale once when a bunch of people there, and this man, like 30 or 40, probably 30-year-old man, obviously has a daughter. He pulls up this gallon-sized baggie that's got like 12 My Little Ponies just packed in there. And you girls probably know what My Little Ponies are. I just know because I've heard of them.
My daughter doesn't have any, but yeah.
But yeah, they were the hot thing back in the day, and they were, and colorful little tails and all that. Well, there were 12 of them, like smashed into a gallon baggie. You could hardly tell. And
Animal abuse.
And nothing's priced. So the guy says, how much is this? And the guy says $25. And I think every head in the room turned like, what? And he goes,
are they kind of like
what?
Beanie Babies or something like that?
Well, I mean,
they have value?
No, they have no value.
They have no value.
No value, no. And they're about this big each.
Or these were came in like
little
McDonald's
stuffed
Happy
ones.
Meals when we were
But these
kids.
were little stuffed, soft ones,
So did Beanie Babies, but not the cool
covered,
ones.
maybe.
There's certain. It's like Pokemon cards. Like there's certain.
Yeah, and so these were little soft ones, not hard, McDonald's toys ones or anything. But still, the guy says $25, and we were all like, "What? Are you crazy? Smoke another one."
Yeah.
And the guy says, "What? $25?"
Smoked one for him, and then came.
And the guy says, "Oh, well, there's 12 of them in there." Who the fuck cares?
Yeah,
It's
I don't want them for $2 a piece.
Drop.
Yeah.
It's like
$2 for all of them.
Cracks
mofo.
me up. It's like, where do you get that from? If I'm going to spend $25 at a yard sale, I better be bringing a couch home or something, or a bedroom suit. So anyway,
what about the days of motocross? Because when I started racing motocross, it was kind of like Alex and Josh had gone off to college or moved out or whatever. So it was just like I'd turned the garage into a motocross garage for a while. You never had your garage actually. You did then have a gardening wall that I hated and complained about the whole time, even though you gave me the rest of the whole 2-car garage. You had one shelf of gardening stuff, and I was like, God damn it. So it was like her house, her garage, and she's like, but anyway, so like I remember we had a whole we had 5 dirt bikes or something in there because it was a 2-car garage. There's no race cars in there because I wasn't old enough to start racing.
Race yet.
Yeah. So either way, and then you would, and Tina was even a part of this too. Like we would go out, like
she lived there.
we used to have to leave at like 5 in the morning.
And I do remember a odd story about that. Weird how I thought about that this week as well. But we were loading up out in the dark one morning. It was like 4:30 in the morning, and it's dark. Pitch dark.
You had to be at the track by like 7
and
or
not to
6
mention,
or some shit.
had the old jalopy ass truck too. Just barely would start. How embarrassing!
Not to mention,
we're out there, and you've got the ramp or whatever, and we got the truck back down the driveway a little bit to accommodate and all that. And we're loading up. It's 4:30 in the morning, and this weirdo comes walking down the cul-de-sac, and he's got a hoodie on, pulled up over his head. I'm thinking immediately, oh my God, if I had been home alone and knew this creep was outside my house at 4:30 in the morning, I would have a fit. And you start giving him shit.
The neighborhood I'm moving to? I'm just kidding.
And you start giving him shit. And I'm like, you're just a kid.
Don't antagonize him.
But it's like,
fucking do it out there, man.
Obviously,
I have that problem now. I just
that he couldn't, that he was probably drunk. And you're just saying, it's time to go home, whatever, And I was just like, oh my gosh. That's what I remember.
Okay.
But
Yeah, I think it was the same day that we had to go to.
Go for it. No, I can carry the show. It's not over though, but be careful of those cords. Everybody doesn't understand the cord situation over there. It's like in the Matrix, don't they have to go through like lasers and stuff like that? My mom's doing it right now. There's not even any cords left. She's still doing it. But what's up, Shannon?
It's bullets.
But yeah, it's funny.
That was the same trip that I went on.
The heat worked good in that truck. I remember
the
you
heat
saying
worked
that.
so good in that. That was my favorite truck, and it had a carburetor, so it had that really distinctive smell.
Oh yeah, you get that gasoline.
Yeah.
We don't want no Tesla. We want that gasoline smell, baby.
Smoky smell. But that was. We went out there. I forget. Maybe it was South Fork, but we
was
left
South Fork.
So early in the morning. And
South Fork was like an hour and a half, 2 hours away. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was like it was the sun hadn't come up when he picked me up.
Not at all.
And we got like closer into town, and it was like early as hell, but we pulled up to the McDonald's or Burger King, and this was before they were 24 hours, and they hadn't made breakfast yet.
Yeah.
That tells you how long ago it was.
They were like, you want last night's Big Mac? I'm like,
they were like, you gotta
dude.
hold on.
Wasn't there a shift, like, they were closed for a little while in between
Yeah,
that?
like they weren't even open yet.
Yeah, dude, I don't want last night's shit. Especially not if y'all are a 24-hour thing where you kept it warm for at least 4 hours and hid it from me.
Any of those places were 24 hours.
Yeah.
Like it was they hadn't even opened to serve food yet.
But yeah, you were right. And I mean, it was an old Chevrolet Silverado 305 with, I don't even think it had a heater core in it. I think it just had big holes in the dash, and it would just the heat
from
would
the
blast
engine.
straight up. Go for it, Mom. Just be careful.
hang it on.
Oh God, makes me nervous. Last week, right before I went live, I knocked the whole thing over and I cussed myself out. And I've done it before, and I was mad on the opener of the show, and it didn't go well. So I just got mad at myself right before the show started, and I tried to change my mood right before it hit the button. But yeah, when you knock over the camera there that everything's plugged into and yank all the cords out of everything, not you, but when
be a wrap.
does it. Yeah. Well, it's before the show even started last time. It was like I was setting up and then knocked everything over, and I'm like, shit, I don't have time. But yeah, what you got there in that? And do you want to tell us about your flask? What do you got on the front of that? And what do you got in that bad boy? I know it's probably just water, melted ice, maybe.
Well, you'll have to put it back in the right spot, or I guess people can see it already.
They can't read that. That's very small.
I can't read it. And I don't remember what it says.
I got you. Still pretty full, if that makes you guys feel better. Gardening, yoga, bubble baths, medication. And I still want to smack somebody.
But yeah, you gotta show them the picture.
Well, they can.
I love that flask. My girlfriend Kim gave me that.
Put it right up on here.
That's like me all over the place.
My mom brought 2 flasks with her.
Great.
Okay?
Thanks.
Well, I'm just that one's still full. If that makes anybody feel better. And the other one still has some stuff on it,
hard to tell when
too.
they're full too. So I, have the backup.
Yeah, she pours a little bit at each time. That way it makes her feel better about each one.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I am spending the night, for God's sake.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we got a guest bedroom coming up soon. Not yet, but next time you come on the show. No, I said not yet. Next time you come on the show, the new studio will have a guest bedroom.
Yes. Well, I figured there'd be a toy room or something involved over there.
It'll be both.
Oh.
Well,
every
room in our house is a toy room, Mom.
Yes, that's true.
You know that.
My house too. After I've had the kids over.
Oh yeah, they got a room that seems to spread out throughout the house all the time.
Yes, I need to get rid of that twin bed. So,
was there any times that you remember, like we were talking before the show started about me and a buddy that I had growing up reunited at you had an outside of town job for a while when I was in like high school or getting out of high school. After I was out of high school, not all the time you're out of town, but you like have to leave for 2 nights or something like that. Sometimes. You remember that? You're like a traveling.
Oh, my research job when I had to go to the big conventions and stuff in like L.A. and Boston and those
like you were
trips?
working on medical equipment and you were going out to like sell it or something or tell people
It
how to
was
work
like
on it or
after I had come back from college.
Yeah.
And
I was still living at home, but it was like right after high school.
Yeah, I mean,
So it's like you
I
abandoned me, and it wasn't like you were gone for weeks at a time.
I
It
don't
was just a
know
couple
if it
nights
was
at a time.
for work. I think she
It
just
was my last-
traveling.
No,
a
it was
lot.
for work.
Was
You had a
it?
job for a time that was. How do you not remember
Well,
this?
it was my last regular nursing job where I was doing pharmaceutical research, and I
Out of town
had
sometimes?
those trips for a couple of days at a time, like
Yeah.
to L.A.,
Yeah.
Boston,
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
Chicago, and stuff like that.
Yeah, we used to three. Yeah. So either way, we used to throw bangers at the house.
Oh.
So,
Yeah,
you know what I
we
mean?
did.
See, I was thinking that was after y'all were gone, but
No, we were still there. We were a little bit not older, but I was at least after high school to where it wasn't like I was in ninth grade and you were like leaving me like I'll be back Monday or whatever like that. But do you remember any like was there ever a time you came back in town and it was like something was really or like any parties that I had? I remember when there was one time I had a friend over and Carl and Cheryl were over and I'm not gonna give a last name, but and you or somebody or all y'all peeked out the back window. It was a New Year's Eve night. And one of us, not me, but you can just blame it on me if you want, was puking off the side into the mulch pit. You know, we like all 4 Loco cans spread out everywhere, and like one of us is literally like puked all over the thing. And, like y'all came out the next morning, there was like puke spots all over. Like there was
in
like
the Brandermill house,
yeah,
and Cheryl and Carl were visiting.
yes.
Oh,
But you could look down on the patio from the upper level, from the upper deck, you know, where
Yeah.
y'all lived.
Maybe Carl and Cheryl remember that. I don't know.
Well,
I
I don't know if they're watching.
I know of a couple instances where it was like very evident that there had been alcohol consumed the night before.
Oh, that kind of reminds me of one thing that you will think was
Could I
pretty
get a,
funny. Is it crackling again?
No.
Oh, okay. You remember the time I had the Dodge Caravan
Oh yeah.
for years, of
Yeah,
course.
long time.
And all of a sudden, I go out to get in the van, and it smells like wine. Really strong alcohol wine smell. And I was
Shit.
like, oh my God.
Thank you, madame.
You were out in the van, and you cracked some wine and spilled it and all that. I mean, you don't remember me accusing you of having wine or whatever? Oh, because there was an empty wine bottle in the Dodge Caravan as well.
Oh my God.
However, and you kept denying it adamantly because, of course, you're not the wine connoisseur anyway.
I don't even drink.
And then I eventually realized that it was a bottle of wine I had bought because I was out of town, and it was some special bottle I liked, and I bought it just for the bottle, and I had never taken it out of the van, and it was during the hot weather, and the poor cork had popped out.
See, this is how she does
Tried
me.
to blame poor Ethan.
This is
And
how
I
she does me.
realized all that after the fact.
This is
But
why
of
she
course-
calls me the angel child. Because even if I did 9 things wrong that year, she accused me of the wrong thing that she
Yeah.
realized, and she's like, "Oh,
You
of
could
course I should have
never
known."
have done that,
Yeah,
yes.
so that was the final thing that I got in trouble for, and then it reset
Yeah.
everything.
And it wasn't even true.
Yeah, what even?
So,
Oh,
yeah.
it was never true, of course. And I would never do something like that, mother.
No,
He would never drink wine, he means.
I would never drink alcohol.
that's a little late for that.
Do you? What else do you have on your cards? Do you have anything special?
No, it was all, let's see, let's see.
I think Alex would like to hear a mixed drink ice shake, kind of like the ladies do with the iced coffee nowadays. My mom's always been known to you can hear her shake the ice around.
Oh, no, he used to make fun of the ice machine dropping so
Well,
much ice during cocktail
I'm not referencing
hour.
that. Yeah, I'm not referencing that.
Oh,
I'm just
okay.
referencing like there's memes that go around, Mom, that nowadays like so many girls drink iced coffee that like people make like jokes about them shaking it up so much you can hear the ice.
Yeah, you gotta
Huh.
constantly.
But you
stir.
actually
Yeah.
were way before that.
I was gonna say, I'm not aware of all that meme stuff, and you know. What
Yeah, I know.
I don't even do
That's
Facebook
fine.
really, so.
Yeah, no.
But yeah, I can
That's
shake
okay.
a little bit if that's what you're wanting.
Yeah, that's okay, maybe not. I don't know.
All
It
you have to
sounded-
do
now
is
that I
ask.
look back, yeah, I don't know.
All you have to do is just ask.
Yeah. That'll be on the Turn Left Podcast OnlyFans.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm there.
Yeah. Yeah. Or my mom's channel. You have
Now,
anything else good?
thinking about Brandermill, I do have to tell you, one of my favorite
You excited for the new house?
situations
It's less than
for
what?
y'all. I am
3?
very
I
excited.
know, but it's
Oh my
also
God.
what 3 miles from your house or something, maybe.
Yeah, that's the thing.
A couple stoplights.
When you
though.
think about it, we're only each about 6 houses or so off our main drag. But our houses are about 3 miles apart.
Yeah.
But we're each, as soon as you turn off that main drag, about 6 houses maybe to your house,
Yeah,
and
pretty
about
much.
6 houses maybe to mine, because
even if it's 10, they go by like that. Yeah.
Well, the yards are big and all that.
Somewhat, yeah.
So yeah,
Mine's not yet, but it will be.
just a
The lot's
straight
big,
shot.
the yard's not. You didn't go in the backyard, did you?
Oh, I did. I walked all
circle
over
around the house.
that porch. I mean, that deck, pretty sunk.
Oh yeah,
gonna be-
it was in the inspection
I mean,
report. And all
yeah,
that.
I was gonna say, can you lift that up somehow? I don't know.
I'm just gonna
Furniture
put a
and
car
stuff's out
jack under it and leave
like-
it. It's fixed where I come from.
That's where I
Get,
bury
get
my
a little
bodies.
duct tape.
Okay, but by the way, when I fixed your sunroof with caulk, remember when we moved in here and our neighbor would have a problem with his car somehow, only sometimes, but pretty much I think it was all the time, when it would rain, would have water in the floorboards, and he could not figure out from anywhere where it was coming from.
Oh, it was a sunroof.
I have indigestion now. And I caulked his sunroof one day. I was like, oh, dude, I bet it's coming from the sunroof because it tracks down the actual, it doesn't get
Yeah.
wet anywhere except for in the floorboards because it tracks down the window posts.
Yep.
And sure enough, I sealed it up one night, and he never had a problem ever since.
You
He's like,
know-
I don't use the sunroof anyway.
I bet that is where the leak water was coming from in my last
Red?
Highlander.
Hmm.
It was always wet when it rained in the back of my back part, near the door, but there was some kind of reflector light or some kind of backup light or something that was right there. So I always just
Your
figured it was a
brake light
bad
or your
seal.
reverse light?
Some kind of, but it was like in the middle of the car up at the top.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never been behind my car when I've been in there pressing the brakes.
All cars
No.
have that. All
No,
cars.
not in the middle and the frickin' top. No, I mean your lights on.
We're
the
going to leave
side,
this one to the
yes.
fans. What's up, Bryson?
So anyway, I just always figured it was a bad seal around that, and that's where all the water came from. But I mean, literally, I could not keep anything back there of any value
Without
because
getting
it would
wet.
just get trashed with water. But that car had a sunroof, and I bet you anything that's what it was.
Possible.
They'll get you.
Yep.
Sunroof will get you.
So now I know.
This is what happens when you want bells and whistles and you want fancy shit. That's why I always buy the basic things in life.
It's because you're a basic bitch.
Well, when you're buying basic used vehicles, you don't always have a lot of basic choice.
Me neither. I wasn't blaming you for buying the car
I
with the
know.
sunroof. I'm just saying if I
Oh,
were
I
to
know.
buy a new vehicle, like I've thought about buying new vehicles, and it would literally be the base edition. I don't think they make them with roll-down windows anymore, but if that was an option, I would go that route
Yeah,
too.
I don't know. They may not.
I don't think.
So what I was going to say was one of my
'Cause I hate working on shit too.
mini
When it
yard
breaks, I have
sales.
to. Oh God, another yard sale story.
Well, yeah, I mean that's what I
these
thought I
are
was going to take the floor.
This is not a yard sale podcast.
Well, it was going to be my spiel.
I know that. But, okay.
It was funny. One of my last yard sales at Brandermill, because I had to have so many to downsize. I was finishing up for the day, the whole morning. I was exhausted. It's time to wrap it up. And this last sale I make is this older couple, and I mean older by gray people, gray-haired people, older, arrive on a Harley Davidson.
Real senior citizens.
Yeah, kind of, but gray hair, scraggly,
I know, I'm
hippie,
just saying,
old
like,
hippies,
yeah.
And they arrive on a Harley, but it's got saddlebags. And I'm thinking, well, they're not going to buy much, and I'm finished.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm done. But
Maybe a
they
jacket to
buy
wear over top of what
the
they got.
strangest things. I couldn't believe it. Just cracked me up. They bought a set of glasses that were like glasses, not plastic. Glasses
I think
that
that's
were
glass.
wrapped in like this is plastic. Well, this is plastic.
Oh, yeah,
but
you're
they
right.
bought
My bad.
glasses, a set of glasses, and they were wrapped
argue
in
about
paper in a a shoebox. So that was able to fit in one of the saddlebags. But they bought a set of glasses. The other thing they bought was a big
Your dog or
4-inch
something?
thick, wide
Taking them.
Webster dictionary. Which
What?
I like a big paper dictionary. It's like everything's better on paper.
Why are you selling it?
Because I had two. I still
Oh.
have it. It's
Oh, okay.
underneath my TV at home.
Ballin'.
But it's those
Soft
big
flex.
big things, this big, and it's like 20 pounds. They bought that. I mean, these people are on a Harley. And then the other thing, there was one other thing
They
that
don't
they
call it a
bought
hog for no reason,
that it was some kind of long pole. Now I can't imagine I'd have been selling a broom or a mop or anything like
I
that.
don't
So
know
it
where
must
this
have been
is
like a curtain rod or something. But literally,
Was it a mom rod?
but they literally ride off, put these glasses and the big dictionary and all that.
The what?
And they're,
The big what?
the glasses and the dictionary in their saddlebags, and then they ride off, and she's holding like the curtain rod or whatever.
Oh, in her hand? Like,
yeah, because of course that's not going to fit in a saddlebag. And I just remember thinking they looked like, you know, witches riding off on their broom.
Oh,
it was just so funny.
That is actually.
I was like, of all things for a couple on a Harley Davidson to come
who
and
goes
show
yard
up
sailing on a motorcycle? That's
Well,
you're losing already.
That too. So
imagine if they would have put a chair on their head and took it home.
Exactly.
What about one story from brandermill that we need to bring up really quick? Because remember when we had a somewhat of a terrorist living next door.
God. That's not a
Literally.
story. That's another whole
Huge
episode.
story.
I'd have to be a guest on another night to go into that.
We can do it. We can do it.
You know.
It was big. I mean, we literally had a terrorist.
He's a piece of work. And I do still have the detective's cards in my little card file. And I really need to call him soon, because he should be out of prison now and back in Marussia. Yeah.
The old sewer rat.
Yeah, but you know, his
Don't give
dad
his real
was
name,
a
but
governmental official in Marussia, and he was rotten to the core too. So it's like no
He could
telling
die.
if he's back.
Yeah, they tried to blow up his wife's car, didn't they? They blew up her car, but she wouldn't.
Well, he tried to kill her and her parents.
Yeah.
With car bombs in
But they weren't
Florida.
in them, or something.
And that's what sent him to prison, because
Blowing up
it
the cars,
beat
yeah.
out all the little misdemeanor charges and stuff he had.
This is the
from
real
stealing
shit we're
and
talking
stuff.
about. We ain't blowing smoke here.
Yeah, he was definitely a piece
Next
of
door
work.
neighbor.
In brandermill, and you think, oh, we live in a nice neighborhood. No, don't ever just assume that the
Jeez, Mom,
people
I'm
next door are
moving
normal.
there. I'm moving there, Mom.
Oh, I know. But your neighbors looked nice. They got kids and dogs and all that.
Oh,
Check all
it
that
was
out.
at Alex's graduation party when everything went
yeah,
down.
he tried to ruin Alex's graduation party.
When they
and the
tried
police
to,
came
they tried to
and,
poison
yeah.
us with ricin. He had a ricin
Yep.
lab in his garage. Pretty much the entire.
Making
It's a
ricin
long
in the
story, but yeah, he was
garage.
making ricin in his garage. The entire, what would you call it? The medic, no, like the hazmat suit team had to come out and clear out his garage after he was
once
busted.
he got carried off to
Yeah.
jail. Yeah, they had the hazmat team there for the whole
They'd go in there. They had to
weekend
come back out and get hosed off into a baby
mopped
pool or
down
something.
in 3 baby pools.
In their
big
hazmat suit and then
combination.
take
Yeah,
that off.
And no one was allowed in and out of the neighborhood.
But he was
Cheryl
blowing
and Carl
ricin in a fan right at us during Alex's graduation party, trying to kill us because we were grilling meat and he was a vegan and we were.
Yeah, and they didn't like
so
that. It was
just
offensive.
so
And I
kill
was
us
like-
dead. That's what his theory
I was like, so
He's a
shut the
psychopath.
windows.
Yeah, he had
And
all
he
of his windows open. He was blaring
Yeah,
his type
blaring
of music.
nasty music out loud, and
Yeah, we
Mike
won't get
Lim-
into it. I
yeah,
don't want to get
Mike-
canceled. But
Mike came home from across the street, and he goes, I've had it with this guy. I'm going to just tell him he can't
he
do
was
this
there
and
too.
all
Yeah,
that stuff.
but
And
either way, but this is how advanced this guy was. Before cell phones, before maybe the day of flip phones, but a lot of them maybe had pictures, didn't have video. He started so much shit and started arguing with the party so much, and like made fun of Dad and stuff. Where Dad started going over there. And we're like, oh shit,
Dad
it's
was
going
gonna beat
down.
his ass.
And then his wife, he ran into the house, grabbed literally an old school camcorder. You break it out, and they had the camera ready to have somebody abuse them, and then to have it on camera.
No, they were filming the birthday party out on the
Graduation party,
patio,
yeah.
or the graduation
Well,
party
no.
out on the patio.
This was
'cause we'd
separate. They
moved
had another
around.
camera right inside the front door, to where once they started a bunch of shit, they wouldn't be able to have the shit beat out of them, because they would have a camera they'd go right inside and get, and be able to watch somebody abuse them or assault them or on their property or whatever.
Oh. Well,
or trespass or whatever.
Oh, that was just, they were trying to, I remember the
create,
camera thing.
yeah,
now.
they were trying
No,
to create a
No,
fight.
they were trying to videotape y'all doing something bad on the back porch, I think, to be able to get y'all on the back patio. That the camera
What would
was
we have
faced
been
out
doing
of there.
that was bad, though?
Just anything, drinking, or, you were kids, and they wanted to try to do anything to get you in trouble.
I
But that's
was
what
like
the camera
12,
was about.
though.
It was facing
Yeah, I know. I
towards
would
our
have been
patio,
drinking at that
out
point.
of their house.
I started
so
at 13,
I, therefore, got my little video camera and set it up in our Florida room.
But these were old school. I mean, these
Staring at
bitches
their
were big.
house.
It wasn't
Yeah.
like you set up an iPhone on a little
yeah.
thing. You know what I mean?
Well,
Like, when they came out videotaping, like, when it was about to be a fist fight, they got a camera right from, like, it was sitting on the table that comes from the, you go inside the front door and you can reach the camera, grab it, hit record, and see this altercation start. Like, as soon as she hit record, it was like, Dad was going over there to fight this guy because he had talked all this shit for 5 minutes across property lines. Now it's like, get off my property, you're on,
Yeah.
if you do anything to me, you're under arrest,
Well,
blah, blah, blah. It was like, whoa, this was way before cell phones and stuff. So we were all like, whoa, what's going on? Now we're on video? Like back in the day, before all this, before people were like trying to start stuff and had cameras ready to hit record, it was like you could just go beat somebody's ass, and it was like up to whoever decided what story was going on.
Some kind of video camera, not cell phone. Because I don't think any of us caught it on our cell phones.
It didn't exist at the time. That's what I'm saying.
There were cell phones out then. Because
I started the story with they had pictures, but not really video at the time. So when you wanted to take a video, you had to have a full-size video camera. That's why you set your full-size video camera up. They had their full-size video cameras up. And then they had another one sitting by the front door where they could tape this altercation.
So it wasn't their cell phone. That was a video camera. Because what I'm saying is, when the party was going on, that they're trying to...
I never said it was a cell phone.
Well, I'm trying to tell you, and everybody else. When they were trying to mess up Alex's graduation party, they had made rice and poison in their garage. It was all sealed off with all the foam and all that stuff, and they even bragged about having a lab in there. Mm-hmm. But they came out with the big industrial fan that they had just gone and bought at the store because we were grilling meat.
And we're blowing bags of rice at us.
Yeah, so to blow back at us. But they went in and got the bag of white powder, and they're having the fan blow the white powder on us, which was just, and we're all out on the patio.
Literally labeled a terrorist.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like a high-functioning terrorist once he got
and so,
busted.
Everybody's like, and the police had just
who
been
would have
there.
a ricin lab in their garage?
Yeah.
I mean, that's literally terrorism.
And the police had already just been there and had just left.
It's not like you smoke ricin for fun and then you do this with it too. It's like ricin is literally just for killing people, isn't it?
So I'm like,
I don't know much about it.
We all start dropping out on the concrete, from the rice and poison, then I'll call the police again. But,
I'm still tired from that night. I might sue.
Once he got busted and the detectives came and interviewed us all, and came several times, I said, because they were emptying out their house, of course, with all the stolen goods in there and everything. It was just trucks and trucks and trucks.
We got
into
the story anyway.
Stuff. But anyway, when the detectives came to talk to me, I said, at some point, you're going to find a videotape of my son's graduation party. He goes, we've seen it. And I said, I'd like a copy of that if you could give it to me, because it's the videotape of them videotaping our party, Alex's party with their camera. Because, I do have some kind of picture of them because it's in my file of the whole, event. I have a picture of them over there at the fan with the bag of the white powder, with the camera on their shoulder and all that, filming us. So I do have a picture of that. So yeah, they saw that video and everything because they stripped that house clean of everything.
Brad said he was ready to see Danny's knife skills that day.
Yeah.
I remember one other thing about that day, and that Alex was wearing a visor, and I'll never forgive him for that. I don't think, but it was his day. I don't want to take away from it. It already got ruined by the terrorist, but the visor didn't help start things off right. You're not Tiger Woods. What are we doing?
That I don't remember. A visor.
He had a couple of them, and it was a very weird, strange patch he went through where he was wearing visors, man.
Strange guy, and he should be out of prison by now.
No, I was talking about Alex. Alex is a strange guy, but only because of the visor thing. That's it. Not because of terrorism and ricin. That'd be insane. But yeah, I want to name that guy, and I now want to know what he's doing. You can't be out of jail for trying to blow up somebody's car, and then.
Well, no, his prison sentence was for 12 years or whatever it was, and it's
probably who's living in that house.
7 years, 8 years. But then he was supposed to be expedited back to Marusha anyway. But his dad was a crook, and he was a government
I've got fans in Marusha.
So.
Go fuck him up. Not really. Where is Marusha? I got some in
it's
Russia
and
Australia, but that's about it.
South Africa, where a lot of people from India go and live. The rich folk, apparently.
I will buy a boat, motherfucker. I will.
So yeah, we were always afraid he'd blow up the house with the propane tank underneath the Florida room over there on his side.
I don't think it was we all. I think it was you, because you got that propane tank after Dad moved out. He would never be worried about something like that.
For God's sake.
I don't blame you. It's not actually it's a good thought, but he wasn't even smart enough for doing all that. He tried to blow a bag of rice at us with an industrial fan.
Yeah. Well, no, he'd come over as soon as they moved in, and the both of them, him and.
I know that, but this guy's a stupid
introduced themselves and told me to keep my cats out of his driveway.
Yeah.
And I was like, cats don't mind. And he was threatening
They
the
walk
cats
on your
before
vehicles.
they
I don't
left.
blame him. It does piss me off. But I've got a cat that walks on my vehicle, and I actually feel bad for my neighbors because I know that she walked on their vehicles, but it is what it is. You can't... It's a tough conversation. You can't go tell somebody... There was also, before he even moved in, he broke into the house and fucked up all the appliances.
He was fucked up from day one because I saw him break into the house and
you saw it with your binoculars that you used to
No, I was out
watch
there
the neighborhood
walking
with.
the dog. I know. I saw him pull up, and he saw me, and he hesitated to even go in, but he went in.
He drove his actual car and just parked it down the road, and then
into the back of the house with a bag over his shoulder
of axes and stuff, and messed up pretty much messed up the entire house. And was like,
"What's he doing?
Hey, all this stuff's gonna have to be fixed before I moved in, seller."
Yeah,
talking to the seller's agent, seller, whatever.
I come home from
insurance is gonna have to be claimed from this.
Next day, and the police are swarming the place, and I was like, well, what's going on?
I know who walked in there the day before.
And the cop says, oh, the home's been vandalized. And I was like, well, I know who did it. And he says, who? And I was like, well, the guy that bought it. I saw him yesterday come into the house. And that's when the guy flies up.
Did you hear this?
Offers me his hand. And he's like, hi, I'm, so-and-so. Nice to meet you. Thought this was a nice neighborhood. Yeah, him. So
and you didn't cold clock him right then? No? You were still strong as shit back then.
The police were standing right
still
there
are
for
now,
one.
But
he saw me talking to the police, and it made him nervous because he knew I'd seen him the day before.
Did you say it was him right here? You should have said right there.
I already told the police it was him, and he was approaching us and jerked in. It's like, hi, I'm so... to try to...
And this was 12 years ago. The cops didn't just put him in a lockhold right then for his race?
No, they've been watching him for a long time. So.
Well, at least he's in prison now. He's not. He's out. What are we talking about?
Yeah. So anyway, he's a whack job.
We're all dead after this airs. It's already airing. But either way, hold the afro back. That's what Alex, his excuse is he had to hold the afro back. He had the visor. So he wanted the afro, I guess, to come out the top.
Oh.
That's insane, bro. That's just as crazy. But
well, he did have the big afro.
He had a cool afro back in the day. I'll give him that.
Yeah. Him and James.
Tina's like, I don't know if you could have a cool afro, but his best friend James had a huge afro that was bigger than this studio. So it was, I don't know, and they weren't even into drugs. I don't know what they were doing growing these afros.
It's just hair type, Sometimes
you don't have to grow it out though. Well, he could have it now, and he doesn't.
Short hair wasn't a thing back then.
Yeah, it was.
Not the buzz cuts like it is now. No.
I think it was.
No.
Okay. All right. Do we want to say goodbye to Darlene, Crystal, Brad, Alex? You got a lot of fans on here, Mama.
Oh, really?
Not a lot, but I mean,
well, thanks for tuning in.
More than me when I'm more. Yeah, you got a good amount. That's all I'm saying. To mess it up, I
we
retract
won't drop any numbers here.
I don't want to drop numbers. Yeah. I can't see them either until after the show's over, until it lasts for a couple days.
Well,
but
we should say everybody like and share before you hang up.
Boom. Everybody like and share.
Or turn your cell phones off.
Go subscribe on YouTube, and if you want to do the audio only, find it on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, any podcast forum that exists. It'll be on there. It should be uploaded by tomorrow. And thanks, Mama Dukes, for coming out. I think it was fun, and we'll have you on again, and you can go back more into the terrorist episode, and we can talk more about whatever you want. Less yard sales, huh?
You'll be closer then too. I might be able to drive home.
Yes. Yeah, well, you can. Yeah, I mean, you can still stay. Like I said, we'll have a guest bedroom over there, so
that's true.
You can stay whenever you want. Mom's like, all right, I'll move in. Sell my house.
All right.
Thanks for joining us.
It's a wrap.
Yeah,
that was. Wanted to do
what did you say? That was.
That was a wrap.
That was lit.
Oh, that was lit.
Close it out there. Thanks, everybody.
All right.
Bam.
Bye.